So you want to make fuck you money in South Africa. The first thing you need to realize is you actually don't need as much money to be in like the top 1%. To be in the top 1% in South Africa, you need a $200,000 net worth, which is roughly like 4 million Rand, which if you think about it, is actually not that much. In your lifetime, you can definitely do that. In Dubai, for example, you need a $16 million net worth. In America, you need $4 million net worth to be in the top 1%. And the top 1%, that's essentially the fuck you money arena. Actually, a bit more than that. It all depends like on your goal, right? But the main thing you need to actually keep in mind is to achieve fuck you money status, you need to actually exit the system. That's the first thing. If you can exit the system, which basically means, get a job, get a degree, get good grades. Well, that was in reverse. First you get good grades, then you get a degree, and then you get a job, and then you're kind of like stuck paying off your debts. Like that is kind of the system. We all know that. So if you escape that and you make like, let's say, for example, $10,000 a month, which, is really not that difficult to achieve. I did it in 3 months of starting my business. 3 months. Like, really let that sink in. $10,000 a month. And we actually got a free school community where I've got a 10-hour crash course. 10 hours. I spent close to 100 hours making these videos and going through the modules and recording and filming them and posting and all these things. So it's a free school community. You can check that out down below. We've got close to 5,000 members in there, 5K, and we started this a year ago. I know this is going to be absolutely massive, so get in early. It's free. All you need to put in is your email, and it's a 10-hour free crash course on wealth. So helping you to craft your offer, choose a niche. By the way, I just like cut my finger the other day, like straight through while I was making some steak. I just cut through my finger. But anyway, you can check that out down below. And there's also a 10-hour free crash course on health. So biohacking, getting in good shape, which is extremely important. You don't just want the money, you want a good physique as well. I'm telling you right now, that puts you in like the top 0.001%, and then you at the fuck you stage, just like overall, not even fuck you money. You can do whatever you want at that point. And that's what I follow. This is why we do this. This is why we put so much effort into this, and it's all free. So with that out of the way, the main thing you want to keep in mind is you can't be earning in rands. Like this is just, you just remove that from your mind. You're not gonna work a job and then achieve fucking money status. That's just not gonna work. And people now in university, which is pretty strange, like they are studying for jobs that's not even gonna exist in the future. Like truly let that sink in. I've said that twice this video, but this is like let this sink in. People are spending hundreds of thousands of rands, right, going in debt to study for a job that's not going to exist in the next couple of years. So then they go into the job market and then they're like, oh shit, I've spent all this money, I've got this piece of paper, but like people aren't even hiring for this job. This job doesn't even exist anymore. For example, accounting, like that's probably going to be, extinct in the next couple of years. You're just going to put it into an AI and it's going to do all your books for you. At this stage, maybe like in the next year or so, you're probably still going to need it, but you want to think like 10 years ahead. You don't just want to think, and this is a skill that very few people possess, is being able to think long term. You don't just want to think 1 or 2 years like, oh, well, get a job for 1 year. Like, time is going to pass. Just realize this. And in 10 years, like, what are you going to do? You don't have any skill sets. So the best thing you can do is to constantly learn. Like, I learn literally constantly during the day. Reading books. As soon as I wake up, I read, listen to an audiobook. Like, while I'm I was in the sun earlier, just like read a book, Scientific Advertising. I was reading that. While I'm in the gym, literally while I'm lifting weights, I'm listening to an audiobook or podcast. While I'm walking, which I walk 45 minutes a day, this adds up to like hours a day where I'm just like learning cutting edge new stuff and obviously old principles as well. But you need to be constantly adapting. And obviously I want to share some practical knowledge in this video, but like there isn't always practical knowledge. Like what you need to do is just follow the latest like entrepreneurs and just follow what they are doing and seeing what they are doing and copying that essentially, because they are up to date with the newest stuff. For example, the two biggest opportunities right now are personal brand and AI, like those two things. And I'm telling you right now, in university, they aren't teaching you about personal brand and growing your social media following so you can like sell some form of a digital product to them. Like no one is telling you that. Except me and other YouTubers as well. But no one in like the traditional education system is doing that. So back to the how to actually make lots of money. First off, you need to escape the system. That's number one. Like you can make decent money in a job, but like that's going to take you 10 years, and by that time the job's probably going to be extinct. So then you're just left there jobless. And I saw a post from, I think it was News 24, that the middle class is disappearing. And Andrew Tate, love him or hate him, I don't care. He's just a messenger. He said, we are entering the stage of have yachts and have nots. So the wealth gap is increasing even more. The wealth gap is already massive, by the way. So in South Africa, it's the biggest in the world. Like the rich are super rich and the poor are extremely poor. That gap is getting even bigger. That's insane. I think this is crazy stat where 10 people, the top 10 richest people in the world, have more money than the bottom 50% combined in the entire world. Like 10 people, 10 have more money than like 4 billion people combined, the bottom 50%, something like that. It's insane. And that's just getting even more. I think in the future, there's going to be like the top three richest people in the world are going to have more money than the bottom 50% of the world. And I think like there's going to be like some civil war or something. Something is going to happen. Some war is going to take place, because if there's such a big discrepancy in wealth between people in a civilization, usually there's like a civil war that takes place. And then, the economy collapses, and then everything is cheap again, and you can buy it up, and in a couple of years you're rich again. There's these cycles. A good video to watch or book to read is Ray Dalio, The Changing World Order. I think it's something like that. Something along the lines of world order and changing world order and the economic cycles. Just check that out, okay? So, yeah, going back to my previous point where you don't want to earn in rands, like get a job here. So the next best thing is to earn in dollars, and that's exactly what we teach our students, right? Which you can obviously check down below in the free community. And there's also another link down below. It's not the free community, link just below that, where it's a website where you can check out, where we actually help our exclusive community. So that's the paying students, okay? So in the free community, obviously it's free. We've got a paid community as well, where we help people more personally. So obviously we've achieved some decent results. We've got financial freedom. I can work whenever I want. I can do whatever I want. Obviously I choose to work, but like I've got a lot of freedom, which is amazing. And I've gotten so used to it right now, but like I know a lot of people just like, this is an absolute dream. That's where we help people even more in the paid community, where we do one-on-ones. We got group calls with all the people in there. So yeah, you can check that out as well. You can just schedule a call, and then you open a call with me. I vet you, see if you're a good fit for the community, and then you can obviously pay and join. So yeah, earning in dollars. That's like it's insane. You can literally charge $2,000 per month for your service to a US client. That's close to 40,000 Rand already. I think when you exit university, the first job you get is like 20,000 Rand a month. Like that is terrible. You can just sign one client and make like 40K, 50K even. Like my first client for my social media marketing agency, right? I will get into that right now. Like the actual business model we teach, I charged $2,500 and I had zero experience. I made 50,000 Rand that day, and then he paid me for like 3 months. How much is that? 150,000 Rand over 3 months, just like with no skill, really. I had like 6 months of skill, which is not really even that much. So a social media marketing agency is exactly what the word says. It's social media, you already know that, marketing agency. So you essentially provide marketing services to US clients. And, if this sounds a bit confusing, this is exactly what we teach in the community down below. That's exactly what we teach. And this is like, in that community, it's like, wow. Yeah, 10 hours, like I mentioned. So this video, I'm not going to make this video 10 hours because you can just check that out. This is more just to bring awareness to the community, okay? And obviously to provide some free value, which is, we wouldn't want that. So this can be any marketing service, by the way. Like you can do content for them. You can do ads for them. You can do lead generation services for them. You can do AI automations for them. You can build websites, you can build funnels. There's so many things you can do. What we really help with isn't necessarily the service that you need to choose, okay? Because there's just so much out there. You can just ask ChatGPT, like, give me, 10 marketing services I can provide to, US clients, and it will give you like 10. Those are just a few top of my head that I just mentioned that are like pretty big right now. Like I mentioned, personal brand and AI is booming. So if you can offer a service around personal branding, like helping them with their thumbnails maybe, or helping them with their content, editing their long form videos, editing their short form videos, giving them like a marketing strategy regarding their organic content, anything along those lines, paid ads for their community, like anything like that. Just study this online marketing space. Just become like obsessive. When I started out, I was watching all these people on YouTube, just like obsessing over it. Just like what's the word? Obsessing is not the right word. It's like I was completely immersed. So like I was just watching all these YouTube videos just of the online money space, so I can become familiar with what is going on. So then I can offer the right services to people. So when I started my marketing agency, I first worked with gyms, okay? And then that didn't really work out. If I stuck to it and I like iterated and stuff like that, I would have probably made it work. But yeah, it was just not something I enjoyed. And then I switched over to personal brands or like influencers. Now we work with them, blow them up on social media with content. Okay, so that's our service. And I wouldn't necessarily recommend that for you because I've had crazy experience before that. So you need to kind of follow a path that's suited to you. And also in the free community, I know I plug this a lot, but it's free. There's a 2-hour video, Plato's Pathway, in the wealth classroom. It's like 2 hours showing you exactly how to choose your niche. So like what industry should you go into? So which is obviously very important. And then I did that. I first started out charging $2,500 for my services, and then I did $3,000 a month, and then I did $3,500 a month, and then I did $4,500 a month, and then I did $5,000 a month, and then I did $6,800 a month, and then I did $7,500 a month. This is all tiers how I went up, and now we're charging. And then I did like $7,500, and then $9,000 a month, and now we're charging $10,000 a month for our services. So like I said, this is I went through a lot of tiers to get to the top. Okay, not the top, but like obviously I'm charging quite a lot now. But we all start at the beginning. Like I started with 0 clients, and then the biggest one that got me success so quickly, like I mentioned, I went from 0, literally no money, to $10,000 a month in 3 months, and then 3 months later I was making $22,000 a month. Okay, was the biggest reason for that is because I invested in mentorship, because they just showed me exactly the roadmap, like do this, and you'll get this output. I'm like, okay, cool. Because when you're starting out, there's just so much information. You're like, I don't even know. It's just like scattered. You don't even know where to go. Okay. But when you pay someone for mentorship and their time, obviously they've already achieved where you want to get to. Okay. So they can show you the roadmap, and then you just follow that roadmap and you will get similar outcomes. It's not going to be exact, like, it's not going to take you exactly 3 months. I'm not saying that, but it will take you a lot quicker than if you do it on your own. And if you do it on your own, you have to realize it's going to take you more time. And in that time, you could have made more money if you just paid the mentor, and you could have made money in 3 months instead of 12 months. So you wasted 9 months of earning potential. Does that make sense? So you are actually losing money when you don't pay for mentorship. That's why I spend so much money on mentorship, because I want to decrease the time between me right now and my future goals. I want to decrease that time as much as possible. I want my future goals right now, today, yesterday, and the only reason I don't have them yet is, number one, time. Obviously, it's, good things take time. But also it's just like a knowledge gap. Like I just don't know the things I need to know to get to that level. Okay. And that's why I pay. And I'm still doing this, by the way. Like I'm still doing this at this stage. I'm not saying that you should invest in mentorship because I have one. I have one because I'm doing it and it works. You understand? Like I offer mentorship, right? Because I'm actively also investing in mentorship, and it worked for me. That's why I wanted to work for other people as well. Okay. So and like, people think, oh, you're just going to make money. Of course I'm going to make money. It's a business model. That's how it works. You are, like, let's say you do an agency, right? You are offering services and they make you money. Like you are making money, but they value the money less than the service you are offering. That's why they make that trade. It's a logical trade. And you value your time less than the money. That's why you get the money and they get the time of your services. If this is going over your head, just rewind and watch in 0.75. It's a trade that you are doing. So people give us money and we give them time, and then and knowledge, and with that knowledge, and obviously to explain something it takes time. That's why I said time. So we give them knowledge, and with that knowledge they achieve their goals quicker. Like literally in our community, people are making $3,000 their first month, $2,500 their first month in their first month. It's insane. We've got people in there making like $40,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $15,000 a month. All of them, well, not all of them, sorry. There's some beginners, right? But a lot of them also make very, very good money. So yeah, that's basically that. Like, this is your way out of the system. There's no other way. There is no other way. And you should give yourself no other option as well. Like, I just couldn't live a life of like average. I just couldn't. I just, yeah, you can just hear with me speaking, like, I can't do it. It's like, I don't know, what's like a good example of this? It's like, I don't know why this came to my head, like jumping in like a lake full of like alligators. Like, you just can't do it. It's impossible. No amount of money would like get you to jump in that pit of alligators, right? Like, some people are psychos, but like probably you watching this, you wouldn't do that. And the exact same is with me. You have to have this like complete disdain for average and just like mediocre. And that's me. I just can't do it. Like jumping in that pit of alligator, I just can't do it. And so if you just, that path isn't even an option, okay, then the other way is the only way. Does that make sense? It doesn't matter how long it takes, doesn't matter how much money, doesn't matter how much sacrifice, doesn't matter how much pain, doesn't matter how much stress I go through, doesn't matter what I lose, nothing matters. It's gonna happen because there's no other option. You need to truly think like that. And all these successful people, like even 50 Cent, he's got like an album, or like Get Rich or Die Trying. Like, that's exactly what you need to. Well, this is me personally. I know some people work better with like plan Bs and stuff. Like Arnold, for example, he said he had no plan Bs. I know in the book Reality Transurfing, they say you should have plan Bs. Otherwise, you put too much importance on plan A. There's a lot, but I think it works both ways. There are people who succeeded with a plan B, and there's people who've succeeded without a plan B. You just have to follow your own intuition, okay? But I don't work with plan Bs. I just can't. It's like, because then there's something to fall back on. Like, I like my back against the wall. For example, a good example of this is when I dropped out of college. I had nothing. I just like back against the wall, make shit happen. And that's also, how I was able to make money so quickly. Like I said, I went from zero to $22,000 a month in 6 months. Zero, like no clients, like no experience, no agency, no agency. And it happened in 6 months. Like, I achieved financial freedom in South Africa, time, location, financial freedom in 6 months. And I took my family to Thailand. I traveled to Dubai. I traveled to Greece. I traveled to Bali with my business partner, Quentin. Had an amazing time. Like, in 6 months, that's insane. But the only reason I was able to do that is because I invested a shit ton of money in mentorship. Like, I've invested 1.5 million rand in mentorship so far, and has returned tenfold, okay? People always see the money they invest in. Well, see how I even talk. I see mentorship as investing. People think, oh, I'm spending this money. No, it's an investment in your skill set so you can make more money. You're like, this is like subconsciously how I think. It's an investment. There's every single successful person has invested in mentorship. So if you think you are the only person who doesn't need it, I don't know what to tell you, because I'm still doing it at this day, and it has worked for me. It has worked quickly as well. I've made my money back tenfold, like I mentioned. So, and I'll continue to invest in skills and knowledge, which I'm doing, like I mentioned, with books, reading, all this stuff. And so, in this video, I might not have given you like a exact roadmap protocol, because that doesn't exist, by the way. Like, if people are selling you an exact roadmap, do this exact thing, then like, it never really works like that. Most people just share principles and what worked for them. And then based on that, you can use that, right? And follow your own path, ultimately. Like, there's no path that works for everyone. It just doesn't exist. If people are selling you that or telling you that, like, you should just run away. You ultimately need to follow like your own intuition. Like, that is truly one of the biggest secrets I can give you. And you can see, like, you've probably watched a lot of YouTube videos and they never give you like an exact formula, because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. If there was an exact one, it would be exploited in like, a couple minutes, and it wouldn't work anymore. Like, if someone made money off like this one meme coin, for example, maybe 1,000 people out of like billions, 1,000 is like it's like minuscule, less than 1% get rich, like it's 0.0001% get rich, and the other, lose all their money. Okay. So, it gets exploited instantly. So you don't want to really, you don't want to optimize for that. for like a 0.0001% chance of getting rich. Like you don't want to optimize for that. Like Naval Ravikant said, like you want to, if there's like 1,000 parallel universes, you want to be rich in 999 of them. So, and that's following principles, and that's following, guidelines from, successful people and learning from them. So that's where I will end it. I have a sales call in 10 minutes. So hope you enjoyed that. Check all the links down below, and then I see you on the next one. Bye.